Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And welcome to those of you who are not here on a regular basis. It's always nice to see new faces. First item is to call the roll and establish a quorum.
Okay. Calendar.
Here.
Short.
Here.
Goddard.
Here.
Gambino.
Here.
Left.
Here.
Bates.
Here.
And Grant.
Aye.
So moved. We have a
Thank you. We
quorum.
have a quorum. Do I hear a motion to approve the minutes of July 17?
I move that we approve the July 17 minutes as written.
Is there a second? Moved by Calendar, seconded by Short. Sorry, Kat. You were away a whole day. Any more discussion?
Yes.
Yes.
I honestly don't remember, and I'm hoping the rest of the council, or some of the council does. Page 3 on the minutes, line 9, we discussed the time tab for the Coast Guard appreciation focus section. And Debbie, you moved to approve one, and I seconded. But then wasn't there discussion, didn't we talk about doing the largest one available? Is this the largest one available?
No, we said that we reminded them.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I just want to make sure you use the correct what we said.
Okay. Anything else? Call roll, please.
Short.
Yes.
Goddard.
Yes.
Gambino.
Yes.
Left.
Yes.
Bates.
Yep.
Grant.
Aye.
Calendar.
Yes.
So moved.
Minutes are approved. Let's move on to accounts payable.
And if I move, we approve accounts payable as presented, and if anyone has any questions or concerns, I can address them.
Yeah, I have questions. Okay, it's page 10 of 12. Invoice refund Oregon Beach vacations, room tax income.
Yeah, that's because the check written was a check for all of this property's tax owed, and some of the properties that they manage or own are outside of the city limits.
Oh, I see. So if it's not outside our boundaries, we certainly can't take the money.
No.
But I understand. Thank you.
Yeah, I had the same question.
Any more questions?
We need a second.
We need a second.
I'll second that.
Moved by Gambino, seconded by Short. Call the roll, please.
Goddard.
Yes.
Gambino.
Yes.
Left.
Yes.
Bates.
Yep.
Grant.
Aye.
Calendar.
Yes.
And Short.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you, the motion passes. Next is special orders, and I think the first thing under that is the liquor license application from
I will be recusing myself from discussion and
questions or comments on this? Okay, Jerome?
I make a motion to approve. Yeah.
Yes.
Bates.
Is there anything else under special order?
We received a request from AJ Madela concerning his moorage. Asked that he get normally his yearly rate would be $882.
But he's got it
He's got there through the summer.
During the season, yes.
So I guess I don't quite understand, is it because of the silt problem we're having?
Yes.
And so sometimes he goes out, and then when he tries to come in, he can't park his boat there, or dock his boat there? Is that what he's saying? And so he's
He
paying
says
for
he
something?
can't access,
Can't
because sometimes when he goes, sometimes to leave or load the boat up, that he can't get out because the tide is, or the water's too low because the silt's so high. So his motor can't go, he can't meander through the mud to get out because he's so close to the seawall.
And what does he do when that happens? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what my
Oh,
question was.
He usually waits for the tide to change.
Is there anybody else having this problem?
Yeah, sure. Some of the other, in Dock 4 area, it's a big problem, but some of the boats will kind of make their way through, or they'll kind of use an oar or a boom stick and push their way out to the water. I mean, they're just kind of dealing with it now until we can get the problem taken care of.
But they have been able to accommodate in some way.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm sorry,
yeah.
Jerome, did I override you?
I just, go ahead, I've got another question.
Go ahead.
So what, I mean, he's asking for a 50% reduction in mortgage.
Sometimes we can move him to other areas. Closer to the walls, we mainly
Product that the person thought that they were going to be able to fully use, and it can't be fully used without maneuvering around. I realize that others will ask for the same thing. If I had a boat there, I would be asking for that. And I know the deep financial problems we're having with the harbor. But it doesn't seem fair to be trying to rent something out. Oh, Jerome's, okay, counterpoint.
Well, counterpoint is that I've seen plenty of harbors, including Newport Harbor, okay, on the what would be the north side of the bay, okay, in the boat basin where the commercial boats are, we're on an extremely low tide, that their bottom is on the bottom and they're leaning to the side, okay? So it's not an unusual situation on the tide to have this in harbors.
Alaska has real extreme.
It's not a typical request from a seasoned boat owner, wouldn't you say?
Well, it's just that it's a typical problem that exists, you know, on and off to some degree. Some more deeper, the south side there, I've never seen that problem associated with South Beach, okay? But it's got a different hydrology, you know, than the north side. So, but yeah, it exists in a lot of our harbors, even in Oregon. This just depends on how to set up. I would say no at this time if I was asked, so I'll make a motion. And then we can discuss.
Let's finish the conversation.
Well, we can,
Either way.
yeah, we can make a motion and then,
Well, that's true, except we did have someone with his hand up.
Do we have any idea how many days in a given month, or let's say for this year, that he claims that he was not able to, or had to wait?
You know, but I have talked to him about trying to find him a spot a little further down where the water's deeper, and that's still an option. We need to get with the harbor master and see if we can accommodate a little deeper water spot, you know, for AJ.
Okay.
Okay, Jerome?
okay, I'll just make the motion to deny, this.
Moved by Grant, seconded by Short.
Has to be right close to the ramp so we can get his truck load, you know, get stuff off the boat, load up the totes or whatever.
So
It's more of a close
basically what I'm hearing also is that he's been given the option to move this boat, but he wants it there, okay?
Did he have any comment about, was he actually offered a different spot and he said no, or?
No, not directly, no. It was more of a, we could try to
Suggestion.
accommodation, suggestion.
Okay.
What does our contract with them say? Does it say,
I don't have that info, I don't have the
because they
ordinance in
signed
front of
some
me.
kind of an agreement with us.
Yeah.
Does
I mean,
it say they'll have full access, or?
Yeah, I can't remember how it's written. It's written in lawyer terms, so it's kind of complicated, but I didn't have it.
It doesn't specify any certain time amount. It's just a 1-year annual mortgage.
It doesn't talk about if the natural conditions change or something.
Yeah.
Lauren?
It is addressed indirectly in city ordinance, the harbor ordinance, quote unquote, moorage of any vessel is at the discretion of the harbor master.
Right.
So if he can't access that slip, then the harbor master can move into it.
Yeah.
If he
Been told.
likes it or not, it's spelled out in the ordinance.
It's been moved and seconded. Any more discussion?
Motion
Maybe
is
better
to
tell us
deny.
what- Motion to deny, yes.
Bates?
Yes.
Anything else under special orders, Jeff? Okay, let's move on And then to reports of officers, boards, or standing committees.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming.
Commission Chair, and Roy Hageman, Planning Commission President. And thank you for your consideration.
Jerome?
The city's honored by your dedication, and I'm inclined to, of course, grant Jim his,
Is that a motion?
yeah.
Bates?
Aye.
Calendar?
Yes.
Goddard? Yes. Gambino?
Have anything from the salary committee?
Yes, okay, do you want to, it's under C of the, agreement that we need to sign? That,
I have the agreement here. It's the first I've seen it. It was
Okay.
tonight.
okay,
And before I sign it, I would like to review it, but I will also need council's permission.
right. So, do we want to skip back to there?
Because it's on.
Go again. Oh, okay. Well, since we're talking about it, why don't we just do it?
Okay.
Does someone want to make a motion?
I'll move that we.
Which,
Which?
by Short, seconded by Gambino.
Okay.
So, I just would like to be able to have the freedom to call them and just kind of get to know them and put their all the methodology.
We're gonna have, another meeting, telephone conference
Okay.
with Ruth before we sign and, you know,
Well, that's great.
before we get
All right.
started.
I'll make
So-
sure I'm there, yeah.
Okay,
All right.
yeah.
Thanks.
And also, if, would she be willing to come and talk to the council, the
Absolutely.
entire council?
I'm sure she would.
Yeah.
They're very, very, very
Well,
compatible.
why don't we invite her to come so she can tell us all together what it is she's going, you know, what her process is going to be, that sort of.
Oh, you wanted to come to the meeting before we sign the contract?
No, I think we can sign the contract if
Okay.
council approves, but I think it would be very instructive for the council as a whole.
Absolutely.
I think
You already have
So we
one.
have a motion on the floor.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm having a bad night. Okay.
No, you're not. You're doing all right, Mayor.
We'll keep
We
you.
love you.
Okay. Any more discussion? Call the roll, please.
Grant,
Aye.
Callender,
Yes.
Short,
Yes.
Bates.
Yeah.
Comments. Does anyone out there have anything they'd like to say?
You don't want to hear
Is your moment?
it.
Okay.
I'm passing.
Okay.
You don't need a vote.
Okay. All right, then we'll move on to, the nuisance complaint, the Martin property. This one.
Okay, in your stack of paperwork tonight, you have two letters. One from Cindy Chufo and the other one from Larry and Cindy Chufo addressing the Martin property, as well as Brady and I have been working with several, a group of us have been working to address the situation. I'll let Brady take that and address it.
Actually, Al Haynes with the planning department for the county. Also, one of his inspectors and myself, Jeff, and I representing the city. We are also getting information through our attorney. So Corey Blake is working on that through our attorney's office, through Pete Bittner's office. And we were actually set up to go over there at 9 o'clock. I think the date is the first part of August, and I think it was on the 1st or something like that. So we went over there and knocked on the door, banged on the door. It was chain locked, and they would not let us in to inspect. There was a person seen through the window, and the door was shut in the back. So forward is to have Al see that nothing has been done in there before we can move forward with the judge's order. So the next step is to get either the same group to go over there and try to get in when they're open and just walk right in, and or get a judge's order for it's like a search warrant almost. So that's in the works with our attorney to set the time frame up for that. So we have the first 2 weeks of August, so yeah, we're already in that realm right now. So I would hope to find out by the end of this week when that date's going to happen. Corey's setting up for us. Still kind of early in trying to get people's schedules together. I know he's in contact with Al. So when Al could find a time frame, then obviously we can get the Lincoln County Sheriff on board. But we also are in contact with the fire marshal for the state. She's been a lot of help too, so.
Sooner rather than later,
Yeah.
this has been dragging on forever.
Oh, no, it has, but, you know, the fee keeps adding up. It's a fine that is unbelievable amount of money.
We know he's never gonna have the money. The most we can do is take the property, and that
Right.
requires months of
And that's gonna take a lot
activity,
of,
too.
yeah,
Right.
so getting these stats are really timing as far as getting everybody's schedule together. So, I mean, we were all set to take the next step, and then it just kind of fell through with the person not allowing us in. So, we're on to plan B.
Did you have a deputy with you?
No, but we weren't advised to. This next step, when we have a search warrant, we will.
So is Corey Blake aware that we want him to proceed to
Yes.
getting one?
Yeah, yes,
And that
he's,
we'd like it to happen
right.
sooner
believe
rather than later.
That's the part that he's working on, is getting the judge's order to get the search warrant signed, and then have the date set with Al's schedule. I'm willing to just be there whenever, just let me know. And as far as Jeff and I, between those two, we can definitely be there.
Yes, Jerome?
Okay, so the optics on this are really sensitive. Okay, because no matter, and so I want to be clear that the reason, correct me if I'm wrong, the reason that we're going in there is to look, and Al Ames is to look at, to see code violations. Is that the reason?
There's people living in there with that,
Okay.
with a illegal wood stove that's not inspected, with no firewall and woodworking, dust, explosive material, and,
So that's the county people right there.
That's part of it. He's operating with no business license.
Is he,
Al can shut him down for that.
well, I haven't seen him open for business lately, has he?
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, why can't we schedule a time to get all these guys there when the door's open?
Because he locks the door when you show up.
When he sees them coming, he locks up.
I just think that, it's just, we don't want to give the, and I don't want to give the public the impression that we're, going in there guns blazing type of thing, I just would hope, and for what reason? For code violations. Okay,
Well, it's
Open
code
and deterrent.
violations and real physical danger to the people who live next door and across the street. He's lighting fires in there at night.
right, to keep warm.
there's a number of people that are living on the floor.
Yeah, I mean, it's dangerous. There are people in
I
there.
see the fire marshal upset about the fact that she doesn't wanna go in there when all this is on record and then have to count volumes.
Okay, so is it up to us, or can the county have some involvement here?
We
That's
have,
how
we are involved.
that's,
We're involved with the state, the county, the fire district.
And,
And you're right, we don't want to go in with the guns blazing, but on the other hand, it could be. the
I don't
opposite.
want us going, at this point in time, everything that he's done to resist entry into the property, I don't want to be there without law enforcement now.
Well, and we won't be. The county sheriff and the state police are with us they've been at every meeting, and they are to be part
But
of
they
the
weren't there
crew.
when they tried to gain entrance last time.
Right.
I'm just afraid that something could happen.
Right, but they're not
Because
going to be
this is
around
the-
going forward.
Right, we're talking about that this guy considers this his home. And so backed up against the wall, you don't know what anybody's capable of. We don't.
We are paying close attention to all of that. It's, yes, Deb, sorry.
Well, regarding the letters on this issue from Larry and Cindy Scipio,
Truffaut is the way you
say it again?
Truffaut.
Okay,
Chief.
Larry and Cindy. Okay, Chufo, they really are putting up with a lot
Yes.
next door. And in that two-story Victorian house, him in a wheelchair, I really, besides the people who live in the derelict warehouse and have chosen to live in there with open fires and unlimited fuel in there, I really think the neighbors next door are in a lot of danger.
Which is why we're trying to get them shut down.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I appreciate that they took the time, to write these letters as older people who came here to retire and have a little business. These people have really disrupted their lives.
I've grown very fond of Mr. Chufa, personally.
You two have a bit in common.
I didn't know that.
No,
We've got a
he's
property
rough
line.
and outspoken, but he's kind underneath.
Okay, so, go ahead.
That's kind of where we're at, so I'll keep the council tuned in. Hopefully by next meeting, we'll have been able to get Al in there. It's just more of a, he just needs to get in and take a look around. It's not like demanding to march through. He's just gonna ask, can we come in and look? And if they say no, then that's what Corey needs to be told. So he can move on with his next step too. So pretty much, it's just following the process. So if we skip something, then we're going backwards and it takes longer. So we've got to do everything by the book. Unfortunately, there's a lot of bureaucratic red tape, but we're going through it.
Ray, it sounds like what you just said is that there'll be yet another attempt at just knocking on the door and going in to inspect before we proceed with getting a search warrant.
Right.
Can't we go straight to the search warrant?
We may go straight to the search warrant, but it's, again, it would just be a deputy there saying, hey, you gotta let Al in, so Al can visibly see, and then I would go as a witness with Al, also with his inspector. And then, once he sees that, say, the work, because if we proceed with it, and then Mr. Martin says, well, I did all that work, the firewall is in there, then, you know, how did we know that? We have to physically see that the firewall wasn't in, or that maybe he pulled the wood stove or something. We just don't know if he had, what he's done there. If he's done nothing, then that's where we move forward with the process.
Yeah, well, okay, I just think we ought to go straight to the requesting the warrant.
Yeah, I believe that's what Corey's doing right now.
Oh,
He's getting the judge to sign the paperwork to get to Jeff and Al Eames, and then we will contact Lincoln County Sheriff to enter.
Lauren?
Would it compromise the city's position in any way to write a quick memo to the Chufos, apprising them of the steps that have been taken thus far, and to give them some reassurances that we're not just sitting on our hands?
No.
Well, I do, we
Yeah.
can do that. I talk to them on a very regular basis. So they are aware of everything we're doing. We certainly could send them
It isn't
a note.
reflected in the letters that they are aware that we're
Yeah,
taking appropriate steps.
We'll draft a letter.
sure, no problem.
Yeah, I try to keep in contact.
And my suggestion is if that can be done without compromising the city's position.
Totally.
It couldn't, because, I mean,
We're all on the same
this is
side.
kind of union anyway.
I doubt if Mr. Tupelo has, there's too much, verbal communication with his neighbors there, is the impression I'm getting.
Okay, are we, any more discussion on this issue? Let's move on then. New business, Devil's Lake Rock.
Yes, so this is the intersection out front. Devil's Lake Rock is the contractor that the city had hired to work on the intersection. So they put in their final billing. They have a punch list, rundown of the amounts. There was a bit of a change order. Jeff was really thorough with communicating with the billing and went over it again, and there's a lot of going forward, checking, and going back, and we found a couple items that we ended up doing, the city did, and so there's a little bit of relief here and there. So after it's all said and done, we could go ahead and pay off this amount if the council agrees, and do the final billing for this intersection. We've already put out an app for a grant on the next city allotment grant to extend Shell Street and finish the process down towards the bay, and then also up towards the youth trail.
Where's the bad?
We're gonna continue the sidewalk and just overlay, no more. Well, there'll be some curbing on this east side. We're gonna fill in the ditch
You're gonna
line.
put a sidewalk all the way down Shell Avenue,
Yeah,
so that's gonna affect my property.
It'll be on
it's on the east side, east side.
Oh, the east side, okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Now, we don't want to put nothing on the west side because the force main's over there.
I was
We
just
really
gonna
don't
say,
wanna build
because
on
I'm
No, it's gonna just, this is gonna be an overlay, and then the sidewalk's gonna follow the ditch line, so it won't be that big open ditch, it'll be a culvert beside it.
Yes, Jerome?
Okay, one more question is that I've had complaints by more than one citizen over that actually have a boat that launch here is about the bulbous corner here is having to go, they're rolling over the top of it.
Right. Well, it's private property that they've been crossing the whole time. That property runs all the way to the sidewalk, so part of the grant was to integrate sidewalks in order to get the grant. So, what we're gonna do is go south, there's encroachment on the south side of the telephone pole and the fire hydrant. My next phase, once we get these guys done, is I'm gonna redo the curb so the south can be opened up a little bit against the pole.
Okay.
That'll widen that up. The white line makes it look really narrow. The contractor did that while we were gone. I really didn't want it drawn in at an angle.
Right.
It's really not done right. But we're gonna erase that and widen the intersection to the south. Because it really can't go to the north because of that lot. It actually runs right to the side. Yeah. But we're working on it. They're totally aware of the narrowness of it. But this street is, so Shell is 40 feet, this street's 30, so we gotta kind of compromise somewhere.
Thank you.
Okay, job descriptions.
Oh, do we need to?
You need to
approve
Oh, we need to approve the
approve the
payment,
devil's lake.
okay. Do I hear a motion?
Oh, sure, I'll make a motion to approve,
Moved by Gambino, seconded by Short. Any more discussion? Yes.
There was a change order in the final bill. That's when we widened it. See, it was even narrower on Shell Street, so I pushed it out another 6 feet.
okay, is it just the $9,000?
Change order.
Yeah, because it added more cement, more asphalt.
Anything else?
Calendar? Yes. Short? Yes. Goddard? Yes. Gambino?
Yes.
Left?
Yes.
Bates? And Gray.
Thank you, it is passed. The next item is the job descriptions, which you all should have gotten this evening or earlier.
Yeah,
We'll talk about those.
Right.
Jeff?
Okay, so we've gone through all of the job descriptions. Brady and Carla really worked hard this week to get I completed with Carla the staff in the office. And we wanted to get these done before we did this, or in conjunction with the salary survey we're doing, so we're up to date on it. So what we're asking is for everyone to look those over and let us know if they have any questions. The mayor has looked them over. If you're comfortable with her approvals, we should move forward on the job descriptions as well, or if you feel you need time, we can do that.
Yeah, they're done quite well. There was so much generic in the old versions, very generic, that this is really written well. We piggyback off other cities' possible engineering that they had done.
Right. What I like to say is we've moved up to the 20th century instead of the 19th, and eventually we'll get to that 21st.
My preference would be to have one meeting's worth of time to read over them myself. But if everybody else feels that they can approve, I just like to look for myself.
Me
No
too.
problem, because
Me
we're
too.
beginning stages anyway of the salary survey, so I don't think it hurts anything. If the rest of council is comfortable with that, we'll just put it on the agenda for the next. Okay. Oh yes, my favorite agenda item, the sanitary district monthly billings. Jeff?
Okay, I will take this one. In your packet, you have a spreadsheet on their payments to us. You'll notice that they have not paid March, April, May, or June at this point. They're, I can understand May and June because they did not get those until mid-August, so they're going to be reviewing all of these in mid-August.
This isn't even mid-August yet.
Okay, mid-July. I'm getting confused.
What, March and April?
But March and April, there's no, they have given me no explanation as to why those are not paid. The agreement with us states that they will make monthly payments to us, even if they haven't received the bill, they're still obligated to make those payments. They have received all of the bills, and they have not. I have reached out to them by phone and by email and gotten
What I think is interesting is that since that joint meeting we had, where the dreaded discussion of, well, you know, you could give notice of cancellation 5 years down the line. And since that meeting, we have not heard one word from anyone, the office, the board members, the attorney, and that is absolutely abnormal for them. So,
I reached out yesterday, and I did get a reply from Mike, the public works superintendent. He's the one that got back to me and said they're going to look at it tomorrow night. They have a meeting, and I should have an answer on Thursday.
also, I had a conversation with our attorney yesterday, and he was going to reach out to their attorney.
Yes.
Because by not paying, they're in violation of the agreement, and we thought it was time to do so. So stay tuned. Also, we have not done anything to schedule the next advisory committee meeting, and we do want to move forward. Jeff actually tried to reach someone in their office, and no one's returning phone calls. It's as if they've evaporated. So we'll keep you posted.
Stay tuned.
I will. Strange, isn't it?
So,
Yes.
have we tried to have our attorney contact their attorney of record?
That's what I just finished saying. I said, our attorney, yeah, I just said that.
Yes, he sent me an email last night, and he sent it to Dennis Bartolis, their attorney also, saying that he was sorry they didn't catch up yesterday, but he was going to try and get a hold of him today. And I haven't heard anything, so could be that he's still trying to play tag with them.
And they haven't written any formal complaints about their service or anything, have they?
None of their, nothing. They've been silent since that meeting.
They're flushing.
Completely out of touch.
They've been flushing.
They were flushing their toilets and went to the beach.
How much gymnastics
So-
do they just stop around there?
They quit losing on us already.
Okay, we'll keep you posted. All right. Parking lot acquisition, which is on the agenda at Deb's request, so I will ask her to speak.
When I first came on council, the end of 2016, we had talked briefly about this and acquiring more parking lots. I know we're waiting for our urban renewal funds to build up, and I understand that. But the problem of tourist parking is continuing to increase. I really think month by month it gets worse. Many of the properties we're using for parking lots are up for sale, could be sold at any time. They're good properties, and they have other uses. So my thought in bringing this to you guys again tonight is I just want the city to stay on top of the tourist parking lot issue, and perhaps asking Larry, our planner, if he couldn't make a list of the properties that are available to purchase so that we know once we have some funds, what we can purchase. It always amazes me how willing people are to walk all the way over that hill to park in those 3 lots down there, and it's been full. That, even in the middle of the week, that parking lot's been full down there. So, and I do understand that we have the huge problem with the money needed to dredge the harbor that we don't have. And so I understand when I bring this to you again that we do have financial challenges in this tiny town. But I think the parking is going farther and farther into the neighborhoods and encroaching more and more. I haven't heard any complaints, but I'm sure people are getting frustrated.
Jerome?
I'm downtown every day, ground zero, in the parking, so to speak. I own a parking lot and a half myself. And in the last budget cycle before this, we had set aside either that or was in, could have been, I thought it was with the, we had set aside $80,000 to potentially look at buying one of Rich Allen's lots down there. But we can't afford to buy both of them, you know.
There are 3.
There are 3, yeah. So that would, and he wants like 80 grand a piece for those, I think. Maybe negotiable, I don't know. But we can, I'm all for the city obtaining parking, okay? Two of those properties we bought, parking down there on Rich Allen's properties. So, I think I would be for going forward and identifying properties again. Getting a little more business, but everybody's still finding a place to park somewhere usually. They'll drive around, and because of the way it's designed there, I'm not seeing very many people parking in neighborhoods. They're parking in that downtown section there, wherever they can find a place. And I haven't heard any complaints either, but a prime location up on the hill there would be, you know, but it's not completely zoned right. It would be John's property that's still for sale. It's an L. It's got a natural egress and access there on College Street. And it's flat. And he's done some site preparation that would be worth considering if that lot or the Allen's lots. I think those are prime real estate for us to
The
consider.
Allen's lots are already ready to go as parking lots.
Right, that's the advantage of the Allen's lots. We don't have to invest any more in it, right? So, but can we form We can bring out, Larry, I'll volunteer to make contact with Larry about seeing.
That's what I was going to ask, if council, if there is an older list somewhere of properties that we have looked at in the past, or that are potential, could we form a list, or could Larry make a list? And just so that, you know, if manna fell from heaven, we would be ready.
Well, if council agrees, why don't we tell Jerome that he is authorized to contact Larry and find out? How's that?
That's fine.
Good.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.
No,
Lay
okay.
down. Okay. Now let's talk about naming our whale. Brady.
Yes, so there's a lot of photo opportunities here lately, folks. We put the whale out there, and the kids zone were out getting photos with the local paper photography, Rick Beasley, and all the kids were asking, "What's the name of the whale? What's his name?" And they were coming up with names, and everything from Jonah to Willie. But
You want the
I
fans
thought it
on?
would be a good idea to see if the council agrees is to have a name the whale contest.
It's hot, thank you.
And then possibly, involve the kids own stuff. Anyway.
Robert?
A name the whale contest, I guess I would be a little curious about, its direction, the contest direction. Is this going to be something where, we're gonna require like an application, I mean, to make it fair to everyone, I mean, or to make it organized, if you're gonna do something
We
like
haven't,
that.
yeah, well, we would, I guess if the council wants to lead us into that, we would come up with something, and then by next meeting, we could, put something together, like a package of how we wanna do this, like you're saying, with some, work.
If there is council consensus, we can ask Brady to present a process and a program for this at our next meeting, or whenever he's got it ready.
You first, I already
Okay,
said.
I was just thinking Jody might be a good one to organize something like that.
Well, since Brady is interested in doing it, I would like the initial
okay.
proposal to come from him.
Okay,
And then we'll see if this is gonna be staff-driven or volunteer-driven. We have some volunteers around town who are very interested in
that's right.
doing things, and we might be able to call on them, because our staff is busy
That's
all the
right.
time, and they really, contests take a lot of time.
And the park commission too might have an interest.
That's absolutely something we can do, sure. And three levels, but do a little research and find out a good process that's legal and binding for a municipality.
Good marketing.
Yeah. And Brady, you're in charge of putting the proposal together and presenting it to council.
Okay, all right.
You might be able to get some help.
I could, yeah.
Yes. Lauren?
But I had already had the idea of a prize running through my head. Odd you should mention whale watching. Entirely appropriate, and Dockside would happily contribute to some whale watching trips, say for a family of 4.
Yeah.
And that would probably be appropriate, as long as it doesn't create a conflict anywhere. I don't see why it would.
Right.
But in the case of the art selections, the art submissions for Salmon Bay t-shirts and things like that, it's $100 or something like that typically. So visit to them. So some whale watching trips, completely appropriate.
Good.
Given that.
Okay, we'll look forward to
Okay,
getting
sure, see that, I'll try to put something, I think
it.
it's.
Okay, move on now to correspondence.
Correspondence, not a whole lot of correspondence. You've seen the letters from the Depoes. Got another notice from Wade that prices will. And other than that, don't have any.
Oh,
It's
you
all
do?
staff.
Check,
Oh,
keep going.
Bus shelters, or did they arrive? Did they ready? They will be here this week. We've got 2 of them coming. Cost to us is installation. We have to prepare the pad and install them, but any materials will be reimbursed from the grant. So
Excellent.
we look forward to seeing those coming up. And
One project I was working on with Bruce Silver was a request from the Kid Zone. He's going to put a package together to present to the council by next meeting. Just giving you a heads up, and it's going to be for the rowboat storage. It's a outbuilding that will be by the harbor shed, but it's going to be removable. It's on skids. But it's kind of like a smaller tough shed, but they're going to be able to slide these little rowboats in there for the winter and lock them up. But it's easier access, otherwise they would have to drag them through and haul them down with a pickup one at a time. So Larry and I went over, talked about where the shed was going to go, but they're going to integrate in the north side of the shed. We'll have a door that we can store containment boom in, and then so they're as working with the city, they're going to supply that for us, which is great because right now I have like garbage cans and containers behind a gate, down by the fueling, which this will create a nice room just for that because we're storing it in the electric shed and we're trying to find little spots down in the harbor where it wouldn't get in the way, but we have it at access. So this is kind of a working, and as long as it is a removable on skid building, then it doesn't really fall into, it's not big enough to need permits or anything like that. So went over it thoroughly with Larry. He did talk to Al Ames, and so it's okay as far as where it's going to go, and it's big enough where somebody can't like put it on a flatbed and drive off with it. But it's not going to be in the way down there. It's probably going to be located where the porta potty is now, and it's probably like about the size of 2 porta potties side by side. So anyway, they're going to put a package of the drawing and everything to the council. Just giving you a heads up. I'm going to talk about the forklift incident now. So we're all aware that that the guy did his version of Thelma and Louise down there. The forklift went right off the cliff, and it turned out where it broke through the railing that was owned by the city and on Shell Street. So it was our public right of way. Didn't damage the building or anything, just the railing where the dilapidated wharf was removed, and it was pretty, it's 8x8 posts with big 4x6 reinforcements, and then a big 2x12 on the top rail. Just crashed right through it. I did spend the day with, not the whole day, but about an hour with OSHA compliance officer going over all the issues, and I just was there representing the city.